public? Where's public?
You just. There we go.
Might have to restart this.
Text Dion. That was a good warm up. And we got some coffee.
Yeah. Channel already added. What's that mean?
Should be live.
We're not sure if we're live, so we're just trying to check it.
All right, we're live now.
We are live. Hang on, Marcus is on it.
You see it?
Yep. All right, let's start over.
All right, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Where's the stream? I got it.
We're back live again, Dion. Just stay there, mate.
All right.
Okay, this is WTF, Where to Fish. We thought we were live and we weren't, so it was a warm-up. Anyhow, we were talking about what happened over the previous month, or this month, but earlier in the month. We had the pompano hanging around late. Normally when the temperature gets to 70, they used to move off, or they tended to, but this year, Sammy got some great catches on the north end of the island. I'm not going to say where.
No.
All right, but
How many?
tell us what you were using.
I was using an Italicana 14.3 foot long rod, and I had two of them, and I was using a breakaway clip down pompano rig,
Right.
and it was super long casting, long distance.
So
That's
that
where
paid off.
definitely paid off.
Tell them how many you caught.
I caught 10 times 2.
And
That was an incredible day.
yeah, how big were they? I mean, they were all good size,
Yeah,
weren't they?
they really were.
Yeah.
And I caught more than that, and I was just putting them back just because they were little.
Right.
Surprised. I mean, I was surprised that it was like a full-blown pompano run, and Eric was like a couple of miles
Right.
from me, and he caught about 12 or 14 or something.
Amazing.
So it was a full-blown pompano
Yeah.
run.
And they're coming in, and there's still a lot of coquina on the beach, and so that's maybe why we're pulling them. But one of the theories, again, one of my theories, I just come and I think about shit and come up with it, was that there might be a real population explosion in Pompano, and they'd moved off to the rigs, which they normally do, but there's more than likely too much competition out there, so they come back in close. Anyhow, they've started to move off now. I haven't heard of any really being caught. Found some small ones, which you normally do in the cast net, and they're normally 12 months out from being a good sized pomp, which we can go after. The other thing we've had was a big rain event, and that caused dirty water in close. That's not new. That happens most years. The island gets full of the water. Hot water gets, the Gulf gets heated up. The Gulf is 10 degrees warmer than normal. So it heats up and it drags the fresh water out of the island and the silt with it. That's basically what we believe happened. The other thing is we've had weed events.
Yeah.
Not serious. None of that 6-foot stuff that we used to get in the days gone by. I'm really interested in what's going on there, and in the next month we're going to have a marine scientist, and we can pick her brains and see what she's got to say about that.
So we're having trouble with two kinds of grass, right? We have the Saragossa.
Yeah, and then there's one that I can't. It's called Brachorius or something.
Yep.
All right.
That's a live.
It's an animal.
Okay.
But it looks like
Soft.
it looks like sauerkraut sort of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it almost looks edible. I bet you could eat it.
Yeah, we're gonna try it.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Anyhow, the that tends to hang on you like real aggravating stuff. Floats along. The Sargasso dead stuff comes. The light stuff comes into the beach, dies. Then the next high tide pulls it out. So mainly, if you're not seeing the big weed beds coming in, which we will be seeing in maybe next month, it is fishable, but you need to keep your rod tip really high and your line out of the gut. You agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But anyhow, when these days have been bad, we've been jet skiing and we've decided we're absolute crap at it.
You've been fishing from the jet
Yeah.
ski?
We've had a lot of fun, but we've been sort of exploring the bays and
Yeah.
things. But our fish count is down. Mark, you caught some.
Yeah.
Well, early in the year, absolutely, it was a slaughter fest. But the last
All
two,
of us, he had two.
200. Yeah, the last 2 trips we've had minimal fish, but we've
Minimal. I think we had one trout the trip before.
Yeah.
I caught a trout.
Well, he
Yeah.
caught a redfish that nobody saw.
I did catch a 20.
No, they don't exist.
Yeah,
No,
Might,
yeah.
might believe him.
Gold spoon,
They've got
right there behind Starbucks.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
On the island in the little hole there in the canal. He ate it shallow, and my GoPro was dead, and the 360.
Oh,
Yeah,
See,
poor
it
thing.
doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist. So one trout.
yeah, so we
And a
definitely
lot of
had
grass.
trout.
What I will say hi to everybody: John Darnell, Kevin K, Chris Vela, Henry Cisneros, Chris White, Hoedown, Trash Can Fishing, Eric Oyster, Jay Ray, hey Jay, Kevin K, Alfred Sosa, and Wheezy's watching. Oh, hey, what's up,
Yeah.
Wheezy?
What's up, guys?
So anyhow, we've done a bit of that jet skiing. Really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
There was an incident too.
oh yeah,
Oh, the phone.
Well, oh okay, yeah. So the phone. What happened? I was trying to.
he blamed you. He said it was your fault.
Yeah, I was trying to get a ride because we were in the inflatable, so we're having
Right.
some weight trouble.
Problems.
So there's 3 of us. So I jumped off, asked Marcus for a ride
Politely.
politely. He wasn't very happy about it. So I tried to get in the back of his jet ski. It started rolling. I started rolling backwards.
I got hooked.
He
by
got
a weight
hooked.
bait.
And then some bag fell in the water. I almost fell, and then somehow the rod fell in the water as well.
That's on YouTube. You can see it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm pretty mad at this point.
Yeah, he was mad. So then
Did you get your phone working?
No.
So then
Total
he
loss.
backed off a little bit, and he decided to get off for some reason to pull the jet ski closer or something. But he was already in the drop,
I was in the deep
in
water.
the deep water. He didn't know that it
Uh-huh.
was deep, and he fell backwards.
Did you
The
reach?
phone flew, fell in the water,
I sunk the phone, lost the shoe,
and
kicked weights
and
in the air.
he blamed me that I pushed him.
Yeah, no, I was like still thinking Sammy was within a foot of me.
Yeah.
Until I saw the
I
footage.
pushed him, and so they had to, yeah.
So hang
I
on.
had a
Show
good
the footage
blow
now.
up
It
for
was-
about 3 seconds.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you pick the phone up
Yeah.
and it's dead.
Oh yeah, it was leaking water.
Okay, I remember about a year ago, I asked you a question.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the,
If you dropped your phone in one of them public toilets,
Oh yeah.
would you pick it up? And you said you would.
yeah, they're $1,000.
Okay, but it's not going to work.
That's fresh water.
Oh, is it? No.
Is it fresh? How fresh is it?
Me and Al B said yes, and the rest of the public
Yeah,
said
some
no.
was wrong.
Yeah, all the
Me
people
too.
out said no.
Hi mom, hi Kim.
They both said they'd pick it up. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
Nick's got
very confident.
porta potty humor issues.
Anyhow, we had a good casting event down in Kingsville. I don't think the next one is up till November.
Tell us about it, Nick. Any champions?
Oh, I'm a champion,
A world
Me.
champion?
world champion.
He did it.
Yes.
He did it. He had a goal, 700 feet at 73 years old. I was like, nah, he ain't gonna do it. I really didn't think he'd get there.
Did it.
he did it.
Just.
Just
So I was
did it.
really proud of that.
701, Yeah,
That's
it was that's like legit amazing. I don't throw 700 feet. Sammy doesn't throw 700 feet.
Excuse me?
Put it on the paper.
All right.
I'm
So
a,
anyhow, that was good fun. I was glad I did it. It was a good tournament. A lot of new people coming along. You know, without doubt, one of the best ways to improve on pond fishing, especially in the winter for reds and things, being able to cast long distance definitely pays off. It's like hunting with a rifle instead of a pistol. That's why I was thinking.
Yeah.
You're extending your effective fishing range. And I've done many seminars around the country where someone in the audience will go, yeah, but all the big fish are caught in the first gut.
Yep.
You then know you're talking to a man who can't throw to the second gut because all his big fish are caught in the first gut. Anyhow, we've got an excellent guest with us tonight, Dion Hunter, who is the captain of the Breakaway Shark team, fishing team, been fishing many years. I've been out there and watched him, really professional, gets all the DNA stuff done, always keeps the shark facing the water. Very impressed by what he does. Teaches a lot of people, loves fishing with people, loves sharing his knowledge. So let's introduce Dion.
Oh, best I've seen.
Bring him in.
It's like it's
You all right, mate?
It's like
Hey,
he
how
runs
you
a
doing?
marathon
Hi, Dion.
during a tournament. He's kayaking, he's cleaning bait, he's doing his lines. It's a nonstop 24-hour.
Yeah, I witnessed that too, and I was pretty impressed. And
What I'm
changed
impressed
my
about
mind
Dion
shark fishing.
or is what a nice, quiet guy is, but the minute he's got that fish on the beach, he turns into a freaking animal.
That's right.
Get it out, get the hook out. I wanted to ask you a question. What do you do, like, if you can't get the hook out?
They would just cut the leader
Okay.
and let go with the hook in.
Okay. Is there a regulation on hooks? Yeah, I mean, I'm really.
Yeah, there is. You're not allowed to use any stainless steel hooks, stainless steel circle hooks, or offset.
What
hooks.
size hook do you use?
Just depending on what we're targeting. I like to use a 20-aught for the smaller fish, and then a 24-aught for the bigger fish.
Now, do you drop the bigger ones further out?
No, not necessarily.
So you're looking at the surf and the pattern of where you're working from.
That's it. That's the nice thing about kayaking baits is that you can see where you drop in a bait, and because you'll be kayaking out and suddenly you see a change in the water, and that tells me that there's either a structure or a hole or there's a thermal current or something going on there. And if you pay attention to it, you drop a bait there, 9 times out of 10 you'll get picked up.
Right.
And
So
it doesn't have to be 1,000 yards out. It could be 300 yards out.
now the other thing is, I know you go barbless. All your hooks are barbless.
100%. Yeah, that's a quick, easy way of getting hooks out.
Okay. Now, do you file that off yourself or just punch it down?
I take my crimping tool, and I just crimp it.
Okay, crimp it down.
Just crimp it down. Yeah, you don't want to crimp it too hard because you don't want to change the integrity of the hook. But I mean, yeah, you just crimp it down. And if it doesn't want to crimp down, just file it off. Take a Dremel tool, file it off.
And like, is there certain times of year where you prefer certain baits, or is it just get the biggest damn cow nose you can and stick out there?
No. Yeah, there's you got to look at what's running in the surf. So when the jacks are running, then obviously you want to use jacks, fleshy bait. But when there's a lot of stingrays and stuff like that swimming around, then you'll go use stingray. You got to use what's there and what they're feeding on. So that's how I see it. So and
I
also
know
the areas that you're fishing.
Okay. So now you get a lot of beginners in the sport, and with drones being so affordable at $2,500, you're getting people come in who really, one would suggest, would require a bit of knowledge prior to going out there and dropping baits at long distance and stuff like this. What would you think might be the best way to introduce people into the sport? Because it's blossoming. I drive that beach now. 20 years ago, I'd go down there, you might see 1 or 2 at the most shark fishermen, and they'd use a big T section. There used to be a famous in this area ranger, Randy Reeder. I've seen him swim a jackfish bait on his chest out about 500 yards, drop it and swim back in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Randy Reeder, crazy as hell. Good ranger, good friend. Used to all stop and have coffee with everyone in the old days. They used to run the whole length of the beach, and he was a good ranger, but he had some balls.
I saw Albie do that too.
Albie swim?
Second
Yeah,
gut,
Albie swims.
Albie, second gut. Dion, have you ever swum a bait out?
Not no. That's why I have a
Oh, yeah.
kayak.
Yeah, I get it. I hear you.
Now you do use the slide away, don't you?
Every now and again, but I mean, with this weed being so bad all the time, you can't
Right.
use them. You can't use those things because they'll get
Right.
hung up.
Okay.
So there's only certain conditions that you can use those slideaways, and
Do you want to tell them what one is? Explain to the listeners about a slide away.
well, we call it a non-return clip. So
And they're actually the ones we buy are from Basil in South Africa. Did you know Basil,
yes,
Manny?
Oh,
You
yeah.
put me in touch with him, I think.
Barry, Barry,
Yeah. Good fisherman, isn't he?
very good fisherman. He's a legend. Yeah, he's a legend out there. So those non-return slides, I mean, our water here is pretty shallow far out, so you really got to find the right water structure to use those things. You got to find a suck out that's going to be running out with no weed in, and you're going to throw your weight in on the whichever way it's sucking out on the drop side, where it's dropping all the bait out on that side of the bar, and that'll help pull that slide out.
Well, I actually did a film of you using one,
Yes, yeah,
and you were able to slide that bait out by shaking the rod
yes,
as
yeah.
quick as I could walk.
100%. Yeah. Then you'll walk up current with it too, and that'll, from your weight to where your rod
I
is,
get you.
it'll create like a 45-degree angle, and it'll suck it out even further too, and faster, because you want to get
Right.
it out pretty quickly. Because if you don't get out quickly, and you get a pickup, 9 times out of 10 it'll burn you off.
And you can, I mean, a live bait, will it assist you in the swimming out?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So
It
like
works
a
great
rainy
with live
fish or
baits, yeah.
something,
Oh
keep
yeah,
it alive and just bang it
Nice.
out.
live pompano. Yeah.
Get out, you're not allowed to use them, they're illegal. That's I mean that is a favorite bait of the shark fishermen, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. They, you know what? They live for such a long time too. I mean, even when you hook them, they'll stay alive for hours.
Well, what's
If
your
that-
favorite? What's your favorite depth of the water that you're trying to drop in, or do you vary it?
It varies. I mean,
You said it
you
wasn't
know,
very deep. Yeah, you said it wasn't very deep out here off where we're going. What is
No.
like 17 feet, 30 feet?
I-
What do you think?
I wouldn't even say that it's 17 feet. I don't know, between
15. Yeah,
15.
15
15.
foot.
And then
main
every now and
range.
again, you'll find a hole that may be 20 foot deep. But
Okay.
that's few and far apart. You don't, I mean, yeah, you'll find those holes every now and again.
We know how shallow it is because when we go to that first oil rig, which is
5 miles,
probably less.
3.
Yeah, it's probably
One,
3.
yeah.
right off
It-
Bob Hall.
It's 45 feet only,
Yeah.
maybe 40 even.
So
It's 15 foot. I can
15
remember.
where they're going.
Yeah, when I had my depth gauge set on.
On demo. Yeah, we'll talk about that story.
Yeah, so
So I have a follow-up question from our kayaking journey. I got to go drop baits with Dion in the middle of the night, which was one of the most fun things I've ever done. But why do you turn your light off on the way in?
I don't want to see what's coming up next to me or behind me or in front of me.
That's what I was thinking. Scared.
I'd rather not know what's swimming around me, so I just turn it off and go. You know,
Sure.
So-
Yeah.
it can be. I mean, when you're out there by yourself, it can be. You know, you hear funny noises. You know, it's amazing how your mind will play games with you. You know,
That's funny.
and you know, it's like, oh, what was that? You know, what was that? And then also you get a lot of those like ribbon fish and stuff like that. They'll just bail into the kayak, and you know, yeah, I'd rather just not know what's out there.
Well, that was that same day. I feel like you caught a shark with your kayak, or he was on there and you went to grab him, and then
Oh, they,
or was that the next day?
I don't know. I remember that, something like that.
Then you
Yeah.
get one. Yeah,
Well-
tell that story.
Well, sometimes you'll get a cutoff, and you can run out there and grab the line and reattach and all that. Yeah, we had a fish on that one, and so you know, you pull it up and you thinking, oh, you're just going to pull the weight, and then there was a fish on it. Almost yanks you off the kayak, you know. So it can be pretty surprising at times.
now Roy's bait and tackle Rocky's son. Like he was kayaking. This a few years ago. It was in Sharkathon. It was a Sharkathon event, and he was fishing at the 20. And I saw Cork had him in the truck, and he pulled up and he said, "Can you get a hook out?" And he had this massive shark hook stuck right in his back. Right, what he'd done, he'd flipped the kayak,
Yeah.
and it got him. So, how do you prevent that?
Well, if the current is if the swell's big and all that, I always put a cork over the hook, and then I don't have to worry about it. At least and then just remember to take it off when you throw the bait, because
Right.
that'd be a waste of time. So I just shove a cork over the hook. I have a thing in my box all the time that just fits over the hook, and it can't push through. And because I've seen people get hooked in the neck, in the back, in the legs.
I've seen it in the neck as well. Yeah,
That's
I mean, so that's a really important point: is cover the hook when you're paddling, especially if you're new to it as well.
Well, yeah, and if the sea's rough, I mean, it can get hairy. I've been tangled up in the braid and all that kind of stuff, getting dumped out of the kayak, but I
Right.
mean, that sea's massive, but you're still trying to get through, and that's not fun. It's
Right.
absolutely not fun, and then you still got to worry about the hook coming and hooking you. I'd rather
Right.
not worry about that,
Right. I mean, you are 100% kayak, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. I've never seen him.
Yeah. So you don't use a drone at all. I don't suppose you don't. Own
I
one.
don't have a drone. Well, I do have a drone, but I mean, I haven't used it in a year and a half. So,
Right.
but I'll just fly it around at the house, play with my dogs, flying toys around. So,
What's your favorite kayak to go where they have you surf then?
I like the Scrambler, the Ocean
Yeah.
Kayaks Scrambler XT. It's a real fast kayak, and it'll get through the surf pretty quickly. It's a little tricky coming back, but you just got to figure it out,
Now you've got a big rack on the back of your truck, right?
Yes, I do.
How many rods are you running out at one time?
When we now this time of the year when we're running big fish, probably 4 rods, no more than that.
Okay. Now
Because
the
they
other
turn
thing,
into tangle really quick
One
if
on
you
each
get a big
Okay.
fish on.
and how what sort of spread do you give them?
I try and go about 100 yards between the baits.
Okay, so it's 100 yards. And do you vary the distance when you put
Yes,
that?
yeah.
You
Oh,
do.
oh,
So
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
drop
you.
one at like maybe
Little question.
450.
Yeah, we got a question, Dion, from
Yeah, I saw
Shane
that, yeah.
Ryan. He wants to know if you prefer solid braid or hollow core lines.
So I prefer a solid braid, and for the simple factors, the hollow core, it's got thinner fibers, and if you get a rub on a bar or something like that, we have found that the hollow core will break a whole lot easier than the solid braid. Now there's pros and cons to that. With the hollow core, you can get more line on your reels, and but with a solid braid, you have less. It's more abrasion resistant. To me, it is, and I have tried both, and yeah, I prefer the solid braid.
What
And if you want to
pound
get more
breaking
line on,
strain?
just buy a bigger reel.
What pound breaking strain are you running?
I like to run 150 as my backing, and then 200-pound on top.
Okay. Now I've got a question from Z Slimp. Okay, and he would like to know your actual setup, how long's your steel leader to your hook, this sort of thing.
Wait a minute, I don't see that question. Are you?
No,
Are
it came
you
from a
Z-Slim?
different.
Nick's trying to get secrets.
Look,
Okay, so
oh,
my hook leader is 5 foot long, and then I'll have an extra piece of steel on the front of that, which is another 5 foot. So in total, my steel is 10 foot, which I'll have a shackle, which attaches my hook leader to that piece of steel. And then from there on, I go to a 700-pound mono, which is probably 20 feet long.
okay.
700-pound mono.
I use 700-pound, yeah.
All right.
20 foot long.
20
Do
foot
you,
long.
do you use a steel ring to stop the sinker going down or anything like that?
I use just a clip-on, those clip-on deals that'll slide up and down the line, and then I'll just put what's his name's beads on either side so it doesn't hit the lines too hard. You know, the knots
Okay.
and all that, all the crimps.
And what sort of weights do you use? I mean, I know they're fixed wires, but what pound or lead is it?
I don't like to use a very heavy weight. I like to use like a 12-ounce, 16-ounce weight. You know,
Right.
and then I like the copper wires when it's not too rough and there's not a lot of current. The copper wires work well because if a fish picks up, it's not going to be buried in the sand. It'll definitely open up the wires a little easier. But if the
Right.
sea's up, then you got to use the stainless steel wires. But
Okay.
my theory behind that is if you have to use those giant weights, then it's probably not worth fishing.
Okay. Now, the other thing I notice is a lot of shark fishermen fish with their rod in the rack, you see. But you actually always fight from a belt, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I use the HDX acid wraps from Nick, and if you try and fight with that in the rod holder,
You just snap it.
they're not designed for that.
No.
They're designed for real fishing, where you actually got to get in the harness and fight the fish.
Right.
And so I understand if the person has a disability or something like that to fight it in the rod holder, but then you can't use an HDX. I wouldn't.
No, you want solid
I wouldn't recommend it.
glass. Yeah.
No.
We've got some rods by Ozonators.
Osmosis. The osmosis.
Osmosis. Yeah, I've got some of them in stock. So if they want to fight from a rack, they can.
Yes.
Like you said, if they're disabled.
Right. And you know what? And a lot of people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to fight in a fighting harness because they believe they can put a lot more pressure on a fish if they have it in the rod holder. And you know, each one to his own. You know, there's no right or wrong way. This is
That
what
Grillox belt, though, you can really put the heat on something with that.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? It doesn't wear you out. You know, and it doesn't have 1,001 straps everywhere where you got to like figure out this one out. I just jump into my Grillox, clip it on, off we go.
Right. We had a job getting them again this year, but I have got a load of them coming in. So if anyone wants them, we've got them. They are a good belt, and I think they hold the record for
bluefin tuna. Stand-up bluefin tuna.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, right. So let me just have a look at this reel. What's your reel? What size reels are you using?
So I've upgraded last year. Upgraded to the TRX 80 wides. I just have 2 of them, and but prior to that, I only used 50s, and I had no issues. I mean, I landed big hammers and all that kind of stuff on 50 wides.
And on these beaches, talk about these hammers. I mean, you've landed some big hammers on this beach, haven't you?
Yes.
What's your bigger? Tell me.
13.9.
Right, that's one hell of a fish. What would you estimate the weight of that fish would be?
Oh, over 1,000 pounds, I would assume.
Right. And the hammer puts up a fight from hell, doesn't
it? Yeah, they're the worst. I don't like catching them, and I wish I could just imprint on my bait no hammerheads.
Right.
Because they fight to the death. You know, and they don't give up. And once you get them in, if you don't have a good team that know what they're doing, 9 times out of 10 they will die on you.
Yeah, I was involved many years ago in one, and that died. And the fight was just went on. And what happened was, the guy was I was actually fishing, caught a bluefish. He had like an ugly stick with a big old pen reel on it. Put it on, and hell, like a 11-foot hammer picked it up. We ended up like 2 miles down the beach. Yeah. But in fact, I had a thing called a Hawaiian sling, right? And it's what you pop and pull, and it puts a noose on them. And I remember walking, I said, I'll go and get it. I walked out I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, I was fresh from England, this frigging head was ginormous. And I was in the gut and I thought, shit. So I put that Hawaiian sling. It was already, I believe, dead.
Oh, for
But,
sure. Yeah.
You know, I put that Hawaiian sling on its eye and pulled it in. But Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
it's
they-
horrendous.
On his eye.
So
They
what
don't-
is your favorite?
Big
What
egg.
is your favorite shark catch, Dion?
Tiger shark.
Tiger shark.
So if they
Yeah.
fight, hammerhead fights to the death, what's tiger shark do? The burst run or
It's
what?
just gonna give you a good workover. You know, he's gonna test your skills, and it's gonna test your tackle, and but I wouldn't say you need to pull the fish out of the water. You want to keep all those big fish in the water. You don't want to take them out. I mean, you want to keep them as deep as possible. But the tigers are a little tougher. You know, they will survive most of the time.
Now
And,
the bigger these big sharks, the ones I've been around and watched, and they don't seem to be aggressive.
No.
The one you got to watch is like these 5 and 6 foot bull sharks.
Well, and those little black tips, man, those
Yeah.
little black tips, they feisty little suckers. They'll bounce
Yeah.
all over the beach and go nuts.
But I mean, a bull shark will turn on you because Billy had one turn on him.
Oh yeah, they can
Yeah.
be. They just pissed off all the time. You know,
Right.
they got a headache most of the time. So you know, you got to watch out for them.
And that's one of the most prolific sharks on this beach, I believe. at the
Yes.
moment.
Between
Isn't
them and the black tips, absolutely, yeah.
Right. And do you think, I mean, talk about Mako. I mean, we've had a few of them caught here. Is there a particular time of year when you should be targeting them if you want to get one?
Yes, yeah. It's normally you look at the water temperatures,
Right.
and so that 70, you know, that 70s, in the 70s, when that
Right.
water temperatures around there. But they're a tough species to target, especially off the beach.
I
They're
think
not,
the ones that are caught here aren't people targeting. They've just picked up a shark bait. You
yeah.
know,
Now, I mean,
I was involved on that first one. I did the story on it for the Houston Chronicle, and that was caught by Mako Mark. And I
Okay.
remember Billy Sander it was years ago, phoned me up, said, "Are you sure that was a Mako?" I said, "That was a Mako, mate." And
Yeah.
dear old Mako Mark, we named him Mako Mark after that. He was the one, and it was in the high banks around the 20s where he
Right.
caught it. And I mean, that was going back a few years. Any more questions?
Oh, is the Mako the one with the best run? Like it's gonna grab it and just
There's
fill
jumping
your line
everything.
up.
Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah, they come clean out the water.
Dion, you concur? The Mako is the best run.
no, I would say the hammer has your best.
Hammer.
He will dump you like 400 yards in no time.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you go through the process of what you're doing when you get into the beach? What's your plan? I mean, I know you shout at your crew and they come running out and they've got D-hookers and everything, but there's a measurement you go through. Just talk us through that.
So, yeah, we'll actually. I mean, part of the Texas Shark Rodeo, we will take we'll tag them and take a DNA sample. So when we get the fish in, we'll turn it, make sure its head's facing in the water and it's still moving around. I mean, I've had to chase them down the gut because they just trying to get away, and you're like, oh, you just turn your head and they like taking off because they want to go, you know.
Right.
And so we'll put a tag in it, and then take a little bit of a fin clip off the dorsal fin,
Okay.
and then take a measurement. We'll take a total length, a fork length, and then a girth of the shark as well.
And you do the bit with the ruler.
And
That's
then we have
with this event.
40
Now, what
it's
is
a
that
40
event? Sorry.
It's a 48-inch yardstick, and then they can kind of see if people are cheating or not, because they can do a measurement test on those things. And
Okay.
that's for the Texas Shark Rodeo. So that's all part of the Heart Foundation, and all the data goes to Texas A&M here in Corpus Christi,
Right.
and they'll do research and studies on recapture and all that kind of stuff.
Is there anywhere anyone can go to look at this DNA research that's being done? I mean, so they can see what type of sharks, or what about the longevity of captured sharks? Because you're tagging at the same time, aren't you?
Right.
Do you get any feedback off that?
Yes, yeah. If you can't, I mean, if you get a recapture, you can contact them and they'll give you all the information of when it was caught, how long ago, what it measured at that point in time, and in which area it was caught in.
Have you ever had anyone recapture
yeah.
any of yours?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Which is good. That shows that they released and everything was cool.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
have you ever caught the same shark twice?
No.
Seen one of your tags in there?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't been. Haven't been that successful yet on catching doing a recapture. Well, we did catch a bull shark. We were fishing up in Matagorda, and we caught a bull shark that had been tagged 3 days ago.
Ah, still hungry.
Now,
Still hungry.
I know you've been fishing in Matagorda a lot than what you used to. Tell me, why do you go there? What do you like about Matagorda Beach?
Well, there are certain times of the year that I like to go up there, which is the winter. The winter fishing there, I like it up there because you get a lot of sandbar sharks because they're a winter shark, and you get real big bull reds. They're fun to catch, and it's just a different fishery.
Is there
And
depth change, current
It's
change,
It's a deeper beach, isn't it?
deeper beach?
it's a much deeper beach, yeah. But the water,
How deep is it there?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I don't have a fish finder to check
It
how
gets
deep it is.
deeper quick. Yeah. So
Well, I mean, the only thing there, you try and go there in the summer, and the mosquitoes will carry you away. Those mosquitoes are relentless. There, they take no prisoners.
right. Is the beach
So-
still covered in driftwood and things?
Oh yes,
Last
yeah.
time I fished, it was a pretty small, but the lengthwise about
It's
5 miles.
It's 20 miles. 20
Oh,
miles of
20
beach.
was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Down to the cut. There was a cut
Right.
there. Yeah.
Which is, I
Okay.
think it's the Brazos River or something like that, which you can't go past that.
They- Go.
It's a good fishery. I like it. It's very different to fishing down here.
Okay. And who's on your team now? We've got Carol. Who else we got?
Well, we got Carol, Christian,
He's a great fisherman. He is as well.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
then-
a lovely family.
and then
Yeah,
his
pretty
wife, Holly, and then Christian's son, which is Hub, and then Tim. He's on the team too.
And they're really serious fisher people.
Yeah,
I see them down there a lot and
Oh, they take
really
it,
impressed. They know what they're doing.
very talented.
and they've released some real big hammers, which is good to see. They can get it done. They can. I think last year or the year before, he released probably about a 15-foot hammer,
Cool. Good
and
boy.
he swam away good.
Now, when you're talking about releasing, do you use that Surfmaster hook release system?
Yes, yeah, and
Okay,
then
that's
also have
good.
the barbless hook as well. It pops the hook out so much quicker.
Okay.
People
That's not-
have this weird idea that if you fish barbless, the hook's going to fall out. The design of a circle hook, once it goes in like that, it's got to do real funky stuff for that hook to fall out.
Yeah, it actually forces the tissue between the hook and the shank of the hook, and as
Yes.
it goes in, it locks in on it. That's the
So what
beauty of it.
What I have found is once barbless, I think that hook sets a whole lot easier because you don't have to go through the barb as well. So I
Right.
find that there's a quicker hook set when you're fishing barbless.
Cool. That's good.
There's a question. Are there any specific safety precautions I should take when handling smaller sharks? Are they more crazy or something?
Don't pick them
Don't-
up on the tail.
Yeah,
All right,
don't
that's
pick
a
them
good
up on the
point.
tail. And if you really want them to submit, just flip them upside down.
They go in a trance state.
Yeah, they go into I think an atomic state or something like
Yeah.
that, and then
So-
you can deal. But you got to be really catfoot with those things because they'll bite you on the fingers and grab your thumb, and if they thrashing around, they'll take a finger off.
And if you've got like a 4-footer or plus, holding him by the head is
Yeah,
quite
and then
difficult.
flip-
Till you
and then
flip him.
Sure.
And then flip it upside down.
Yeah.
But
And
do you get it
it'll
out the water since you're gonna grab
you'll
them and do
have
all
to.
this stuff?
Yeah, and
You'll have-
it's the big ones you're worried about bringing out and crushing their chest
Okay.
and their internal organs. Apparently, that's what
Yes.
I've read.
Okay.
Anyhow, but yeah, don't pick them up by the tail. They can turn around their whole length of their body, and they'll.
I've seen people being bit on the shoulders, on the legs, and all that kind of stuff. It's.
Have you ever been bitten?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. You poke the bear long enough, you're gonna get bitten. You know.
Right.
Yeah, I've had many stitches
Where did it bite you?
on my ass. Bit me on the ass. Yeah. But that was
What sort of shark was it?
that was a sand tiger.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
How'd you get him to let go?
Scary.
He
They
tasted his ass.
they don't let go. You have to physically remove their teeth because they got hook teeth. So
Yeah.
that once they get a hold of you, they can't just let go. So you got to kind of peel it off and then peel it off, you know, and without it
With the
tearing
flesh.
you to pieces.
A crowbar or like a Glock?
No, you just got. I mean, I grabbed it with my hands, and yeah, my hands were cut
God.
as well and all that, and yeah, it wasn't
Sure.
fun. It wasn't the most pleasant experience I've ever endured.
All right. Could you give us, if you were talking to an absolute beginner who wanted to start shark fishing, what would you advise?
Get with someone that knows what they're doing.
Book a charter, maybe, or
Well, you know what? Yeah, book a charter with Oz. I mean, man, that he is so experienced, you know, and then don't just leave it up to him. Watch what he's doing. You know, get with someone that knows what they're doing and watch them, and then don't fish out of your capabilities, because I think that's where a lot of the problems come in. Where, you know, people drag fish up on the beach and they're all trying to take pictures and all that. I mean, Nick, these guys have seen how I get excited. I get frantic especially when I see it's a hammer. There's no time to mess around. You got to get it done, and within 2 minutes, that fish has got to be swimming away.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
now let's talk about, I mean, this isn't a good subject, but some of them do die.
Yeah.
And they're a big hammer, and I've seen occasions where people just leave it on the beach.
Don't do that.
I totally understand that a hammer will die in the fight,
Sure.
but they need to make sure they either take the meat in or give it to a home or bury it or something. Just leaving them on the beach is not the answer.
Well, that's giving shark fishing a real bad name. So if it does die on you, which it can happen to anybody, just deal with it. You know, deal with it the best that you can. You know, take a sawzall with you. You know, if it dies, cut it up and throw it behind the dunes. The coyotes are going to eat it.
Yeah, they'll eat it.
They'll eat it, but don't leave it there, because, you know,
I've seen people also jaw them out and just leave them on the beach.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
you don't want
just
you don't want
not
to
a
do that.
good image.
No,
No.
no.
And,
it's not a good-
considering the work that's being done with this heart research and that's what should be promoted, is how the sport is actually doing good. They're
Yes.
actually tracking this. Now, I've been reading reports on the internet about lots of more sharks coming in close in Florida, in this area, and you gave me a good explanation that they're getting hungry.
Well, I would
Yeah.
think with all the pressure that's been put on deep sea with longliners, trawlers, and all that kind of stuff, I think, well, and this is purely my explanation, is that those fish are getting hungry. So they're
Right.
just going to start coming in closer and closer. And because, you know, there's a good, I mean, Texas coastline has a phenomenal fish sanctuary. So that's why they come here. We have the turtles, the tiger sharks love to eat turtles. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, they that's what they eat. Not the only thing they eat, but they enjoy the turtles. And so we have a great fishery, a very healthy fishery, because what I've learned from scientists, the marine biologists and all that, if you have a healthy fishery, you can have a lot of sharks.
Right.
And so to me, I think they're coming in because there's no food in the deep. I think and that's purely my opinion.
Well, I mean, you've only got to go down to Mansfield, throw your cast net at certain times of the year. You bring it in, and a high percentage of the fish are injured. And a
Yes.
lot of the redfish you catch certain times of year have all got sharp bite marks out.
Oh, 100%. Oh,
you
yes.
know what I mean?
What if it's the opposite? I thought I watched somewhere where they said, you know, like don't go after the sharks. They're there for a reason. So if there's
Yes.
more sharks, it could be a healthier
Environment.
You know, there's certain fish that they have to keep it.
Did you
level.
see that great white they've been monitoring? That come past Corpus Christi again.
Right.
So
that was the old post.
Well, I think
Was it
now,
an old post?
Yeah, I went and looked.
That's where long casting comes
Wait,
in.
Yeah.
I
Get
was
that
like,
sucker.
it's gonna be crazy.
well, I think
Now,
now that they're tagging them with set tags and stuff like that. Well, now we know where they're actually moving.
right.
So, you know, tagging is a good thing. And those great whites have those satellite tags. So we know their migration patterns now. So
Cool.
that female may have been moving up and down here all along and we just didn't know it.
You know, I think there's been a change in the current in the Gulf because over the last 3 years, mainly the hurricanes ended up in Florida. I'm praying that happens again. God bless them. And also the Sargasso weed ended up there and the red tide. That
Yes.
used to always come here. And
Yeah,
we've missed it for about 3 years.
I wish they would take the tar.
Yeah, that tar at the minute is a nightmare.
It is.
Anyhow, Dion, we want to thank you for being our guest, our first guest. It was absolutely excellent. Any more questions?
He has a shark alarm on his poles, like so we can be sitting around a campfire, and then
Yeah.
it just goes woo 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 like an air raid alert. How'd you do that?
It's just something that we built. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just it's a deal
That
we
means
just-
you don't want to tell us.
Yeah.
It's a custom shark burglar alarm. We got
Where do you
burglar
fish?
alarms, but we don't
they're
have that one.
available. I mean, they sell them. You can buy them. I made my own, and I had to look at it. I'm one of those people that like to just do it myself. You know,
That was awesome.
We've got a rod built by Surf Masters that's got this big bell that hangs
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
oh
big
yeah,
tackle
they
bell.
used it. They use that in Hawaii
Right.
I think he said
because
he
when they're
built
fishing on
solar
those
Oh,
big
man.
cliffs.
Some Uma rod or
Yeah.
something.
Cowbells are a thing of the past. We got burglar alarms now.
farm. Yeah.
You've got rod tip lights.
Yeah, and the rod tip line.
Yeah, they work. Anyhow, Dion, thanks very much, mate. Where you going now?
Somewhere.
Fishing.
Good luck, man. Go get them.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thank you very much, Dion.
Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
100%.
Find you
yeah.
this weekend.
Hopefully it was informational and you guys
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
it.
All right. Well, we certainly did. So thank you, mate. All right.
All
Knock
right.
him on the head.
See you soon, mate.
All right.
We got two more.
Okay. There's a couple of things that got. Oh,
Yeah,
two
we got
more what?
events.
Oh, yeah. We want to talk about some events
Mm.
that are coming up.
Yep. This Saturday at 1 p.m. we have the big catch for grads, and Maria and Anthony are the ones that are throwing this awesome event, and it's for kids who are graduating. They wanted to thank them and have some giveaways. There's gonna be a barbecue.
I'm giving a rod.
You're giving a rod
Rod and reel for
and a
the kids.
reel, and we're giving some t-shirts as well, and I think they have gift cards. I think
Yeah.
Roy's is one of the
Yeah,
sponsors
yeah,
as well, and I think we posted on Facebook. So this is this Saturday.
Oh, I'll tell you who
1 p.m.
the bar out on the island.
Not Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
I think
They're,
they're giving the food.
yeah, they're sponsoring as well, so they're getting involved. Thank you, Hard Knocks. I mean, it's a way of congratulating the kids for the hard work of graduating, which I never had the pleasure of.
Shocking.
That's why you got to pay in now.
And also to introduce them into the sport and tell them what's good. What's the other event?
The other event is the
Oh,
Sea-Doo-
this is going to be fun.
Yep, we have the Sea-Doo Social Club event, and it's by Velocity Motorsports down in Victoria. We got Stuart helping with this event, and this is going to be on August 9th in Port O'Connor. Everybody's invited. If you have a jet ski, bring it. If you're in the market for jet skis, they're going to drop 3 jet skis. I got to look at them. I know there's a trophy and there's the other one that you wanted to buy. Remember that one?
Expedition.
Yeah, I think so. And then a GT Explorer and then a GTI. So you guys are more than welcome to come down, test the jet skis if you're in the market, just to get a feel. And they're gonna drop the Sea-Doo fishing boat.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. So I think it's up.
We got our gear today for the event.
Yeah, we
Sea-Doo
sure did.
Social Club. Thank you,
Stuart.
Sea-Doo. Thank you,
Thank you,
Stuart.
Sea-Doo. So that's the second event. Nick is coming down. He's gonna get a jet ski, and we're gonna ride from, I think it's a bait shop in Port O'Connor to, I think it's a 15-minute ride to an island, and it's called Saturday Island or Sunday Island, but it's gonna be on Saturday. And we're gonna surf fish from there. So Nick is
We're gonna surf fish
Yep.
from that island.
Yep, it's right in the ocean.
Yeah,
To go.
super
And the golf
excited
gear.
about all
That's
that.
going to be good fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Going like hell on that jet ski.
Yeah, because it's not yours.
Yeah, so if you guys are our buddies from Corpus, please come down and join us for that. And
Anywhere,
support.
yeah. Yep.
Now,
Run across.
our next guest is going to be Lily. She's from Texas A&M. She's a marine biologist, very knowledgeable, all about the currents and the different types of weed and things. So that's going to be, again, the last Thursday of July. We've got a busy July coming up. We've got to go down to Florida, and any of you guys that can get to ICAST, we look forward to seeing you there. We're there for that week.
Yeah, it's a whole week. I'm so excited.
It's a great show. I mean, all the manufacturers are there, and you get dealers from all over the world. So it's a really interesting show to be at. And we always book a stand there, so we'll be there showing off our wares. So Lily will be our next guest at the end of next month. Hope you've enjoyed this.
Marine biologist.
She's a marine biologist,
Awesome.
very knowledgeable.
She graduated.
Yeah, she actually went to school. You know, I always say I'm self-educated, and the reason I think out of the box is because I was never allowed in it.
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. This is Nick away.
Mark away.
Sam away.
Have a great day.
See you guys.
Love you guys.